It's Friendsgiving, you guys, and I'm going to share one of my family favorites, candied sweet potatoes. Plus, I want to share with you some etiquette on how to be the perfect Friendsgiving host and some great table settings. Let's get started. Hello, welcome. Today, I'm going to share with you the perfect Friendsgiving menu for this year's Friendsgiving. And today I'm going to start by showing you one of my favorite family recipes, sweet potatoes. They are candied sweet potatoes. I'm going to show you how easy they are to make because they are the perfect addition to a Friendsgiving menu. So we're going to start with some sweet potatoes, and we're going to peel the sweet potatoes, just peel them up. One of the things I want to share with you is that, when I was growing up, we didn't have Friendsgiving. We had that one time a year that we had Thanksgiving, and it was all the Thanksgiving food. But I've started noticing, even as my kids got older, that they were going to Friendsgiving meals, which was the entire Thanksgiving menu before Thanksgiving. And I thought, you know what? We need to stop doing that. We need to create a new menu for Friendsgiving because I feel like we should reserve the traditional Thanksgiving meal for our families. Although I also love Friendsgiving. I love Friendsgiving because it gives a bunch of friends the opportunity, which I call the chosen family, to come and to do some Thanksgiving holiday festivities together. And so that's what we're going to do today. One thing I want to show you when you are cutting sweet potatoes or you're peeling them, this is not indication that it's time to throw this entire sweet potato away. This looks maybe like it has mold. But what I want to show you is you just cut that off, take that little piece and literally just cut it off until you don't see it anymore on your sweet potato. And you can do that with a tiny little paring knife where you can just start digging out these little pieces. Most of that really doesn't matter. It's just little bruising, but sometimes it freaks us out. So don't throw the whole potato away. Just cut off that little part that looks a little molded. So I'm going to take these sweet potatoes and I'm going to cut these into little slices, probably about a 1/4 inch. You don't want to do them too thin because if you do them too thin, they cook too quick and then it becomes really, really soggy. I think Friendsgiving is a really great time to get together with your friends and celebrate the actual holidays together. But I also really believe that we should hold the actual traditional menu for our families. And so some of the items that I have on a free downloadable for you as the new perfect Friendsgiving menu is going to be like roasted chicken instead of your turkey. It's going to be macaroni and cheese instead of the mashed potatoes. It might be a beautiful Brussels sprout that I have learned to cook with onions and garlic and bacon and a little balsamic. All of that is on that downloadable for you. But I think it's just such a different choice to still enjoy that time together in the fall, but not have that sacred once a year Thanksgiving meal that you get to have with your family. Okay, first we're going to take a stick of butter and we're going to let that melt down. I typically like to take that stick and just cut it up. I always have my butter at room temperature on days of cooking because it just goes so much easier. So you might want to think about that. But if you don't, it's okay. Just cut it up so that it melts quicker and you don't have kind of that burn off there. Make sure your heat's on medium at this point while you're melting down. I'm going to take a little bit of cinnamon, get cinnamon right into that butter. Then I'm literally just going to place these medallions in that first layer of butter. Then I'm going to take the second stick of butter and cut this up, and then I'm going to lay it right on top of those medallions so that we can get another layer of butter so that when I put this next layer of medallions on, it just starts to melt all together. I'm going to tell you, this is such an easy dish and it will make you look like such a champion. So if you're going to a Friendsgiving dinner, you might want to say, hey, I'd like to bring the candied sweet potatoes. And then you literally will come like a total champion. I'm not going to give you a measurement. This is 1/8 of a cup. But I just want you to sprinkle this really close down into the actual sweet potatoes. This is what's going to make it candied. And then, friend, we are almost done. Like, that's literally it. And what you're going to do now, it does take a little babysitting. So this is not one of those dishes you can just walk away from. But what you're going to do is just let this set on medium to low, and we're going to cover it. And what's going to happen is the steam is going to actually start breaking down those sweet potatoes, and then we're just going to start stirring it about every 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, I'm just going to take this, just been in there a couple of minutes. You can see that yummy butter at the bottom. You see how that's starting to get candied? That's what we want to do. And what we want to do is just toss all of this in that butter and brown sugar. Just get it all in there. That steam, when you cover the dish, the steam is going to do the cooking and the work for you. But turning it just keeps tossing it and keeps it from sticking at the bottom. Another thing I want to share with you is, if you want this to be like its optimum taste, is make this when you get to your friend's house. Or if you're hosting this, this is the last thing I make. Like, literally while I'm setting the table up, while I get all the other things out, I'm literally letting this, because this is best when it's right off the stove. Okay, it's time to cover it. We're going to let it set for about another 5 to 8 minutes. I'm just going to stir this about every 5 to 8 minutes. I'm going to keep checking on it. Remember, we got to babysit it. And then we're going to show you how to plate it. Now you can see these are getting really soft, and you can see that I can just cut right through them with no effort. This is about ready at this stage. Doesn't this look amazing? It's so wonderful. The smell is outrageous. Right now that we're in this part of the sweet potatoes, I'm going to just leave these uncovered for just a few minutes, but I'm going to keep my eye on them because I don't want these to start burning. But I want these to start thickening up a little bit and not be so wet. So just in a couple of minutes, we're going to take this off the heat and we're going to put it in our serving dish. Okay, so now I'm just going to take these sweet potatoes out of the pan, and I'm going to layer them right here in my serving dish. Now, if you're about to put this on the table for serving, I would always recommend that you put the serving dish in an oven or a microwave. If you do a microwave, do it for like 3 or 4 minutes. If you do an oven, do it for about 5 minutes, maybe 10, because you want to serve your hot food in a hot plate or a hot dish. That way it holds the heat of the food. Typically your dish is really cold, so it breaks the heat down of your food super fast. This smells so incredible. One of the things you can do is add some pecans on top or some walnuts on top. If you want it to make it a little sweeter, you can even add some marshmallow cream and it'll make it so nice. Okay, so here you go with your candied sweet potatoes that you can enjoy for your Friendsgiving menu. Now we're going to talk about the etiquette on how to be a fantastic host on your Friendsgiving meal. I'm assuming that you're going to host a Friendsgiving, and so I want to give you a few yummy tips in order to make it easy for you and fantastic. Number one is going to be, make sure that you plan ahead. Right now is the time to go ahead and make that plan. You're going to choose your date, you're going to choose your time, and then you're going to choose your friends. Now make sure when you're choosing your friends that you're choosing a group of friends that all get along and actually want to be together. It's okay to invite somebody that doesn't know everybody. Maybe you're trying to introduce a new friend to the group, but be very sensitive to make sure that everyone's going to get along so that you can plan with intention to have a great event. What I typically do, if you don't have time to send out an invitation, I typically just compose a text message, and I used all the emojis with fall leaves and turkeys and all the fun things on the text to kind of give it some emotion and some excitement when you're sending this text. Now you can put it on a huge group chat, or you can just copy and paste it to every single person. And I always say RSVP is required because it's going to be a smaller event and probably a seated event. Now the next thing I want to help you with is creating that menu. I told you earlier that we have a fantastic perfect Friendsgiving menu just for you. So you just go to carlashellis.com and download that, and then you can take that menu and you can assign it out to different people. That will make your life so easy, I promise. Next, I want to say this might be the most important part of the entire Friendsgiving, is setting the ambiance. That is so important. The first most important part of setting the ambiance is you. Make sure that you are rested. Make sure that you feel good. Make sure that you've taken some time for you. Give yourself about 30 minutes to an hour before the event's about to start to go and take some time to get ready, have a glass of wine, put on some music, have a nice cup of coffee, whatever your favorite beverage is, but just get yourself into the zone. Try not to be squeezed all the way up to the event when everybody starts to walk in so you're not completely stressed out. Get your vibes up, get your spirit up, get excited, play some great music when you're getting ready all day in order to receive your guest. That is step number one and the most important step. Your number two step is your playlist. I'm a huge believer in setting the atmosphere with music. Go to carlashellis.com again and you will find right there on the Friendsgiving tab the playlist that I created just for you. I love having the perfect music to set that atmosphere, and people always comment on how much they love the way the house feels. It feels so cozy. They love the music and the vibes that it brings. And the next step that I'm going to show you is how to set your table for Friendsgiving. This is super important because it doesn't require a whole bunch of work. Now, you can go to the extent you want to, but I would almost keep it a little bit more casual for Friendsgiving than you would for an actual Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going to show you a few different options. Don't get stressed out. Get excited. Pull together what you have, and if you have the budget, go get the things that you need. Come on, let me show you. This is going to be your standard casual place setting. We have a placemat, we have a plate. If you wanted to do something disposable, you can do that. You have your linen napkin, your ring holder, then your fork and your knife, your dessert spoon, and over to the left, your classic roll plate and butter knife. Now, if you don't have these pieces, let me just pull these out. It's okay to not have these pieces and just do more of a casual look. Of course, I have my tumbler for my water and then your wine glass off to the top right-hand side. Now let me show you how to use just a standard paper napkin. You're going to take your paper napkin like this, you're going to fold it in half, and you typically want to always put that here just to the left of the fork, or you can put it underneath the fork just like that next to your plate. It really is about the intention and the heart behind the event. I just want to encourage you to take your time, be thoughtful about the event that you're hosting, and put a little bit of heart behind it so that your friends can feel the warmth and the care and the love of you, because you want to always leave the essence of who you are behind everywhere you go.